In the third episode of Season 14 of Good Eats, Alton Brown brings us into the kitchen and shows us a visualization of just how many compounds exist in asparagus, as a way of demonstrating the nutritional content in these very noble stalks. If one was to conceptually expand that visualization, we can imagine the Asparagus Project, codename Operation Spear. Operation Spear is a museum display that is meant to visually communicate to an audience the atomic content of a pound of asparagus. How many and which atoms are in this asparagus? That is the question this museum display is meant to answer and visually communicate. In order to do that effectively, we're going to build a very complex flowchart starting at the top left with this lovely AI-generated painting of an asparagus bunch and ending in the bottom right with a catalog of approximately each atom that exists within it. My goal for this board is for this museum display to be simultaneously visually stimulating, informative, but also easy to follow so that a child might be able to follow along. What I'm doing here is laying out the compounds that compose the non-aqueous solids in the asparagus into 5 basic branches: carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals. I had considered making the board proportional to the actual content of the asparagus mass-wise, so that higher mass content was displayed as a larger area. But doing that reasonably would require an exponentially larger board. The complexity of trace mineral compounds precludes working them into a very tiny area, simply because my ability to write or print that small is limited. I had to make the creative decision to arbitrarily shrink the water section in order to fit the Asparagus Project onto a single 4x8 sheet of MDF for the sake of cost, simplicity, and transport. In the future, I can see us one day building a massive display that is able to show the same information proportionally. I've included a link in our link tree in the description below to a spreadsheet that lists all the compounds in the asparagus, as well as their relative weights and percentages. It's beyond the scope of this video to tell you each and every compound and what it is meant to accomplish, but in the final display I will have very straightforward one-sentence descriptors, molecular diagrams, and other information that will be very densely packed into this sheet. My hope is that at the end of this project I will have a colorful, very densely informational display piece that we could shop around to children's museums and other scientific institutions for display. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe in order to see the final product, like this video, and leave a nice comment about how you can help facilitate scientific literacy in your own community. Mr. Warden's Workshop is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation dedicated to facilitating passionate learning in communities. We have a public Discord where we discuss general learning and share our projects. Be sure to check out our other projects with a link to our link tree in the description. Please consider supporting our nonprofit work with a tax-deductible donation, also linked in our link tree below. Thank you, and remember to live the curious life.